Hey there, this is Jamil. This is the seventh devlog for Superstar Shooter 16. Uh, gonna follow a slightly different format today, but it's pretty similar to usual. So we're gonna go through a roadmap for the demo that I'm planning to release, what's blocking that, and what's been finished, etc., etc. We'll go into QA notes. We'll go into community feedback. Then we'll look at the full game release roadmap, which includes everything in the demo release roadmap plus the extra things that are going to be in the full game. We'll talk about plans going forward, which are very straightforward. And instead of the gameplay section, I'm going to skip it. We're going to take a look at the manual, a couple sheets of the manual that were recently commissioned. I had an instructions manual made for the game, so we'll look at that instead. Okay, so for the free demo roadmap, so trailer's been done. Huge thank you to Kraz Productions. He's did an absolutely phenomenal job, in my opinion, and he did it basically on a shoestring budget. So massive thanks to you, my friend. Uh, Producing a detailed instructions manual, that was a request from one of the QA testers. I've noticed this has been a problem for the last year or two, even prior to interacting and joining with the Atari community. So that had to happen. I have probably spent the last close to the last 2 weekends working on this. Basically, I wrote up a spec of exactly what I wanted to see in the instructions manual. Then I sent it off to my artist on Fiverr, did a whole bunch of back and forth with him during the week, and it's done now. I'm calling it done. It's doing exactly what I want it to. I like it. I sent it over to the individual that wanted a manual created. He said he loved it. Davpa loved it. Everything is peachy there. I think it's going to be great. More detailed instructions in the game. This is about 20% complete. This should be an easy win. I'm basically just going to take the instructions manual and paste it inside of the game. So it should be relatively straightforward. There'll be a little button you can push on the main menu to go see the instructions. It'll be something like that. Atari VCS leaderboards. I started working on this yesterday evening while I was kind of sleep deprived end of the week. I'm making progress on it. We'll see. I think I'm going to have big breakthroughs. It's going to be one of those types of things, but it is actually progressing. So I'm very confident calling it 10%. It's going to be a high priority for the next weekend or two. I might be taking breaks from it here or there because it's a little technical and tricky, and I might need to reach out to a few people for help. But I am fully committed to getting that going, and I'm very confident I will get it going. Custom score screen for the Atari VCS. Basically, only 3 letters are accommodated in the current version of the game. I want to post the full username on the score screen, so I'm going to have to rejig things just a little bit. Not rocket science. It'll get done. Custom ending screen for the demo. So the demo is one level. It's probably 2 or 3 minutes in length total playtime. I want to have a little screen at the end saying, "Hey, thanks for trying out the demo. Please be sure to buy the full game when it drops." And thanks. So after that, control issues. So I've kind of mentioned this in the last few videos. The controls are like half wired up. It's a bit of a Frankenstein system. It's an old control scheme from when I was using Steam and Xbox, and there's a new control scheme I had to put in for Atari. It works, but it's kind of a Frankenstein. So I do have to put some dedicated time into fixing that up. Rumble is currently supported with the Frankenstein system, but I want to just move everything over to one homogeneous system. That'll be better. There's little issues like what happens if a controller is unplugged on the VCS during gameplay. In theory, it should just pause the game, then you can plug the controller back in. So haven't tested that yet. I'm guessing it's going to be problematic though. And one other thing, so on the classic controller, I have a slight little gripe. I'm very happy with it overall, but there's basically the player's ship position is tracked to the position, the player's ship rotation, sorry, is tracked to the position of the paddle, the spinner. So if you have the spinner at kind of an odd angle, you're going to enter the game, enter a level with your ship at an odd angle. it's kind of unsettling. It feels kind of unprofessional. I'm thinking through the math in my head. I think I have a system to fix this so that the ship will be zeroed out when you start a new level. The rotation of the ship will be zeroed out, and the paddle could be basically anywhere. So, thinking through that, it's a problem I really want to tackle. It's actually kind of exciting for me. I had some, I think, epiphanies on it, but we shall see. Options menu cleanup. Yeah, that just needs an extra QA pass. I got to put more time into that. Forcing the resolution to 1080p and disabling the graphics menu. I looked for some VCS best practices, and a lot of the options I have in my current graphics menu are basically things that can only be good on Windows. They'll actually be problematic on the VCS. So I'm going to have to disable a lot of that. All truth be told, people aren't really losing anything of super high value. The features that are there are more for like people with custom gaming rigs who can play at 4K and 300 FPS or whatever. So it the community won't really lose anything, and I would prefer a safe setup where things aren't going to get screwed up and you're not going to have the game locked to some weird resolution because of a little mistake that was made or something. So I'm going to do that. That's kind of the established best practice guidelines. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing there's a bit of a process, like a QA process I have to go through before we can actually push the game to production. I've done kind of an informal QA, but there's probably an official Atari QA type of thing. Okay, so notes from QA. This is exclusively from me. So I played some of the later levels in the game where things get really crazy, and frame rates were pretty darn good. I noticed one massive stutter, and I've been unable to reproduce it. And by massive, I mean like a half second delay, something like that. And it happened one time. Part of me thinks that there is something going on in the background with the OS, which is kind of beyond my control. I'm going to keep an eye out for this, but that's kind of where things landed. So I'm confident the VCS can handle my game at a very good frame rate, and that's kind of that. But I'm always on the lookout for any frame rate issues, performance issues. So community feedback and questions. So one thing, another one from me. I posted in the Discord channel that I did a podcast called Coffee with Big Mike. He's an old friend of mine. We, got to chatting on Twitter. He's a big he's an indie dev promoter, indie game promoter, and he covers all kinds of other content on his channel, Beavis and Butthead and VTubing and stuff like that. So go check him out. See if that's something you like. If not, there's a big long interview between the two of us there, and I had a lot of fun doing it personally. So, and there's some Atari discussion. There's some Superstar Shooter 16 discussion. There's a lot of chat about my plans going forward and things like that. And there's a lot of just I'm buddies with him, so back and forth between the two of us and me learning more about him as well. So good times. Next question came from Ballistic Coffee Boy. He asked if I could do an interview on his show. And absolutely I can. I'd love to do that. I actually really enjoy his channel. So we're chatting, and I think the plan I want to do, and he's on board, is that we'll talk after the demo releases. There'll maybe be some community feedback. You can feel free to send it to Ballistic. He'll ask me about it, and then we'll talk about things together, and should be a really fun time. He's got a really awesome channel. Enjoy the content he produces a lot. Okay, here's the full roadmap for completely releasing the game. A lot of this is going to be familiar to people. I've added one or two small things here, but so an electric fence style enemy. Easy win, just got to do it. Better low health or shield indication. There's two of those. So one is to have more particle effects when the player is at lower damage. So this would be something like smoke coming out of the ship when you're getting close to dying. There's another suggestion from Kraz Productions. Easy for me to do. Absolutely love it. I got to put that in. Be a super easy win. Portals at the end of the level need to match the color scheme. So This game has a level end portal you fly through to get to the next level. Uh, the portal has been a massive headache for me. So I used like a really fancy portal before, and then it wouldn't work on Xbox One. So had to take that out, and I tried like fixing it so it would work on Xbox One, and I just couldn't get it. So I completely switched the asset, and now it's like it's always blue and baby blue and white. So I just need to write some algorithms to make that match the rest of the color scheme for the level, so it doesn't kind of sticks out like a sore thumb right now. It'll be fine for the demo, but I want to have something a little more coherent than that. VCS leaderboards should be easy by the time I'm doing it for the full game because I'm learning how to do it on the demo. Implement level lockout, yeah, piece of cake. Comprehensive testing before final release, that's going to be a bit of a big thing, but got to do it. And more SFX and SFX variety, that's actually a maybe. I might do it, might not. We'll see. All right, let's look at the instructions manual. So I had my artist on Fiverr commission this. I generated all the content myself, but all the beautiful artwork and typography and all this wonderful stuff that you're seeing here came from a gentleman on Fiverr. Really, really appreciate his help. And similar thing, he works on a budget, so really great interactions there. And there's some more stuff. You can see there's Atari VCS customization in the manual. We've got the classic controller and the modern controller. The manual is 10 pages in total. It covers the enemies, it covers the power-ups, and it's basically going to be posted A inside of the game and B also instead of providing screenshots, or might even be in addition to screenshots, you're getting this manual on the store page. This manual includes screenshots, as you can see to the right, although they're kind of artistically worked on to highlight certain things, and other parts of it are kind of grayed out just to draw your eye to the correct assets. But that's going to wrap that piece up. So what's the plan going forward? I'm just working on releasing the demo on Atari OS. Bit of a ways to go here, but I'm going to work hard at it and hopefully get it out there soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.